Okay, today we're going to learn some of halochos and Minhogim of Rosh Hashanah. We're going to start with the food. In Tov Kuf Pei Gimel, the two brings to the Gemara, Krikas Daf Hey, Omad Beis, and then Vov Omad Aleph, that what we eat on Rosh Hashanah and what we do on Rosh Hashanah, it's a simon for the whole year. So there's few type of Minhogim how we do that. Some people make mamash a whole like a seder plate, and they have the brachas and the yirotzon. So this is really. So the Gemara, like I said, the Gemara, Amar Rabbi, I'm reading to the Gemara. Asher da Amrin and Simona Milsahu, since there was Simon as a year, Rogel Inish Lameichel, Reish Shato, he brings a whole list of food what you should eat. Now, so what's the pshat? You should eat and said the Yerotza and what for the brachas, the Rishonos, because it's during the Suda. So here is what the shita, what people do make this whole plate and the brachas and the Yerotza, and the shita of Rav Hai Gon. So that's what the Mordechai brings from Rav Hai Gon. He says, Minhogim shel Rav Hai Gon zal lomer al kol dover v'dover ez a dover have a simon. Kagon b'dalas yomar hikra gzar dinenu. Eat the pumpkin, you say hikra gzar dinenu. V'chen kosa ben David Abu Draham. Tell you because of what sheyesh oimrim b'loshen tefillah yirotzim u'fanecha Hashem alaked v'alaked, make a whole prayer with Shem Hashem, and you say the yirotzim. That's the minhag of Rav Hai Gon, and like I said, many people do that. However, the Mordechai also bring. From that L'chorah looks like the shita of the tour over here. I'm reading from the Beis Yosef that quotes the Mordechai. Medibra Rabbeinu and Nirish is Torah Chlomer Shum Dover. Don't have to say anything. Elon, Oysam Advarim Roimaz Al Inyanim Mahem. If you put in front of you and you eat them, it's a remez Al Dis Inyanim. You don't have to say anything. And that's really the only thing the tour brings. Says K'mo Ba'ashkenaz Shirgim Be'echol B'tchil Asvit Tapuach Mosak B'dvash. Lomar Techad Tzchad Shon Tova Musukah. So the only thing where they said the Yerotzen really it's on the apple with the honey, which is that's also min kabad. And the rest you eat, you have it in front of you, but you don't say. So again, so everybody does according to his own minhag. Some say according to Rabbi Hai Gon, you sell the Yerotzen. Some say you just have it in front of you. And ad kedekach, there is a shita that you don't have to even eat from it, just to have it in front of you. So if somebody, let's say, it's something that's too sugary for him or whatever, he's allergic to it or don't want to eat it, just having it in front of you, it's also a good simon. So three shittas. No, but the apple look like everybody has the minhag to dip the apple in the honey and say that the shontam sukkah, but everything else, like I said, three shittas. A, just have it in front of you if you don't want to eat it. B, eat it, but don't say the yerotzen. And the third shitta, or whatever the numbers, it doesn't make a difference, the shitta of Rav Hai Gon, which is many people knowing like this, the mamish eat from it. Okay, now, also, the Magen Avraham brings Legabe what to eat and what not to eat. So that's come from the Magen Avraham. It says like this. Yochel dogim lifros v'lirbos. We eat also fish because the fish multiply to show that we should multiply. And then he says, V'en v'vashlim b'choymet. That's from Rabbeinu David Abu Draham. We don't cook them in a vinegar. So the question is like this. How far you go with this? Lamashal, somebody asked me last week if you could use lemon juice in the food. Or we're going to say, since you don't want something soury, so you're not going to put lemon juice. So I don't think we should go too far with this. Yeah, it's Indian. Yeah, but he says the whole idea of chometz, why? It's sour, yeah. So maybe you should just do everything sweet, nothing. Again, all I'm saying is, oh, and I'll give you another one. No, furthermore, why? I'm going to soften a little bit this Indian. Meaning, some people go overboard. Lamashal, it's brought over here that some people didn't eat nuts. Because ego is gematria chet. So I'll tell you two inyanim on this inyan. What we eat, what we don't eat. Yeah, you do it, but I don't overdo it. One is like this. I'm reading from Darche Moshe. Because of what she'oichlin hareya, we eat the kidneys. It says that the meat from the kidneys you eat. It's good for your eyesight. It's good for Rosh Hashanah. Again, all the simanim for Rosh Hashanah. It says that haram. That's haram Rottenberg. V'lo anizer le'echel shum egoism v'lo shum dover. He wasn't careful not to eat something. Well, meaning he didn't care for if you liked, according to him, if you like fish with vinegar, go ahead and eat it. If you like to eat egoism, go ahead and eat it. All I'm saying is there is such a shita also that didn't make such a big deal out of it. Okay, so now furthermore, the say from the Ger Rebbe, the Beis Yisrael, some people are so careful with nuts, not to eat nuts on Rosh Hashanah because gematria chet. It says, remember, if you're so careful with the gematria chet, it says chet is also gematria chet. So be careful with doing chatoim. So you're careful not to eat the nuts, gematria chet. Chet is also gematria chet, he said. So just be careful of the chatoim too. Okay, now, so again, according to the food, like I said, some people go overboard with it. If some people have questions, what about onion, what about garlic? If you like it, if the recipe called for it, yeah, we'll try to make more sweeter foods, but if that's what you like, you don't have to suffer eating something you don't like on the Rosh Hashanah. Okay, one more inyan. Even though the Rosh Hashanah is Yom Tov, it says, Ichlu mamtakim, Ichlu mashmanim shtu mamsakim, that's have to be for the good simon, should be a sweet year, a fat year with abundance. But it says we should remember that Rosh Hashanah, it's not a regular Yom Tov. It's mitzvah with have to do avodas Hashem b'simcha, including true have to be with the happiness, with the joy. But there is an element of yira. So it's not regular Yom Tov. The regular Yom Tov will do more overboard the simcha. Now, yeah, we're happy, but it has a lot of element of seriousness into the meals of Rosh Hashanah. Also, he brings very important. It's based on the Zohar. The Mate, there's a Pirush Mogen Elef Mogen and the Mate Ephraim. He said like this. V'yizoyer sheyazmin oni al shulchana. Be careful on Rosh Hashanah. You should invite guests. Oni, if it's not oni, at least try to have a guest. People are going to say, look, this guy eating, enjoying himself. He doesn't care for others. Should not be such a pischan peh. Yeah. V'im b'shar Yom Tov. Other Yom Tov is more, you have to be careful, and brings the Zohar, that one of the tikkunim of Achilas Yom Tov, every day is his own tikkun, the regular day, Shabbos. One of the Achilas Yom Tov is to have guests at your table. It says, how much more, he says, it's from the Zohar, how much more is Kol Shekin V'Kal B'Rosh Hashanah. It says, V'chen b'Sefer Imre Kodesh, he's the Lios al Shulchano Ereach B'Chol Su'udosei, Ozai Nechshav Kivu Kivin Kol Kavonas Arizal. There's a lot of kavonas in food. He's saying all this yerotzens. The biggest yerotzens, the biggest tikkun, especially on Rosh Hashanah, is to have guests at your table. Okay. Now, there's one more nakuda also. All the poskim bring that when you have at the table this different foods, like apple and honey, yeah, that's what Kul Alma would say. So you should say bracha rishona, even though it's after you said amoitzi, that's already b'soich hasuda, because it doesn't come part of the meal, the apple. People don't eat usually apple with the bread. It comes usually we eat it as dessert. That we say bracha on it usually. So even though you eat at the beginning of the suda, you should say bracha on it. However, here's the catch over here. It's not on everything you eat for the simonim you're going to say bracha. He brings over here also in Elef HaMogem. If you don't have an apple, he says, you eat potatoes. Yep. You're going to eat if you don't have apples, you're going to eat potatoes with honey. Good luck for that. But he says, and the potato and the apple, you would say, and the potato, you're not going to say bracha. Why? Where it becomes practical, a lot of people eat pumpkins. Yeah, pumpkin is something you can eat during the suda. It doesn't come as a dessert. A lot of times it's part of the meal. That simon or whatever you would eat part of the suda, not as dessert, you're not going to say bracha on it. You say bracha is the thing that comes usually as dessert. Okay, now one more nakuda I want to bring over here. I think it's good to know when we do the minhogim where they come from. So the tashlich, many people take the tashlich, they think that's how most people have it. Their tashlich. What's tashlich for? We're going to the water to throw away all the averos. Very easy way to get rid of the averos. Throw them in the water. There's even a story that one time the Choshev of Lublin went to this Talmidim to do tashlich, and one Choshev talent was missing. Rabbi Ropshitzer. He was then a big Rebbe. Rabbi Ropshitzer. So as everybody going back already, Rabbi Naftali comes. The Choshev told him, Naftali, wo bist du gewesen? Where are you? Why didn't you come to the Tashin? He says, I'm going to pick up whatever the Rebbe threw away. I'm gonna pick up what you threw away. Your averes, I'm gonna pick up. He says, that's my mitzvah. Anyway, so this is really, if you look at the poskim, they don't say one word about throwing to the water your averes. It's stuck abroad by the tashlich. We have a nusach tashlich yom kol chatoisom. We say that in the psukim from Micha, I think, was throw away all the averes. However, what is broad, which is important to know. And by the way, it could be also that you're throwing the. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you in a minute why you're throwing the averes. But it's broad in poskim. First of all, here is what the Darche Moshe brings on the Maharil. Shnagim lelech al nohor. The minhag is to go to the river. Most people today maybe. Especially if you don't Rosh Hashanah, they don't live next to a river, they don't do it, they go to a pond or to a fish tank. But that's the minhag originally, go to the river. Why? So one reason, Mishum, the Islam made a zecher la'akedah Avram Avinu b'mayim at Savorei. Loimar Roshir kiboim Hashem kiboim mayim at Nofesh. Avram Avinu for the Akedah, when with Yitzchak Avinu and they went through the water of the Mamash, the water was, so he says, Davan Roshir kiboim, I want to do your mitzvah, but I have obstacles, help me. So now we're davening the schus, when maske the schus, the Akedah, schus Avram, schus Yitzchak, and remind us on Yom Adin, the schusim of the office. So that's one Inyan. Then it's like this. The Minhogim, yeah, Ela Shoisim, the system Maharot Tilna Hoisim, Sheroin Dogim Chayim, that's Indian to have a live fish in the water. The Efshar Shul Sima Shul Tishlot Bano Ein Hora, two Inyanim. Why would it fish? Hey, there's no, the Gemara in Bracha says, in other places, the fish don't have Ein Hora. The same thing, we should not have Ein Hora. Like a fish, because the water covering on them, they're less visible. So if you don't want Ein Hora, you have to be less visible.
They don't have eyelids.
Huh?
They don't have eyelids.
They don't have eyelids. No, that's the third reason. Hold on, I'm going to talk about the eyelids. Yeah, v'nifre v'nirbe kedogim multiply like the fish, and that's what he says. That another reason that the inyan of the fish, it shows an inyan of hashgacha protis. Same thing. The fish never close their eyes. Hashem should never close his eyes from watching us and protecting us. That's another. So all this doesn't mention one word of chatoim. Yeah. Now, where do the chatoim come from? So I'll tell you where they're coming from. It says in the Gemara, Hashem promised. If he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, if you're going to say that tefillah vayavar with sliches and we say the gimel midas harachamim, Hashem for sure will moichel. It looks like a very easy, like God. He said tefillah 3 times, ben elam haba. Looks like a very easy access to elam haba, easy way to get rid of chatoim. What's the pshat? Pshat is like this: when you say gimel midas harachamim, Hashem kol racham v'chanun erech apayim. And the idea of the mitzvah is not just saying it; it's mas v'saim. It's just the duties of the lips. The idea is Hashem racham v'chanun. You should be also racham v'chanun. He has mercy, He has erech apayim. He has a lot of patience. If you learn from the gilvis rachamim, especially b'rabim, it's more effective. Then Hashem said, "You know what? If you learn my ways, I'm going to forgive you. You're going to live a godly way." Something over there we're going over there by the saying the pasuk from Micha, which is corresponded to gilvis rachamim. If you learn, you want Hashem to forgive you, you have to forgive to others. You want Hashem to be with mercy to you, you'll be with mercy with others. You want Hashem to be kind to you, you'll be kind to others. So that's the pshat. With that, you get rid of the chatoim because you're learning from the ways of Hashem. That's what Hashem wants from you. He doesn't want to punish the Rishonim, He wants him to do tshuva. So if you learn from Hashem to live the godly ways, it's okay. I'm going to forgive you. So that's what I said. The main inyan of tashlich, it's not so much throwing the chatoim, that's all, but there's all other inyanim of you. A good geben shiur.